Research proposal. So writing the research proposal for a research work in the present era is challenging task due to constantly evolving trends in the qualitative research design and the need to incorporate medical advances into the methodology. So the proposal is a detailed plan or a blueprint for the intended study, and once it is completed, the research product should flow smoothly. So your research proposal is a key part of your application. It is a chance for you to show your knowledge of the subject area and tell us about the methods you want to use. The purpose of the research proposal is to demonstrate a project's viability and the researcher's preparedness to conduct an academic study. It serves a roadmap for the researcher. So your research proposal will be a key part of your application. It also tells us about the question you want to answer through your research. So it is a chance that you showcase your knowledge of the subject area. The purpose of the research proposal is to demonstrate the project viability, as we already understood. And lastly, it serves a roadmap for a researcher. So how and when you write your research proposal? So whenever you write your research proposal, you need to highlight how it is original and significant. So original means that you should be very different from other researchers that who have already done the research on the topic that you have selected. Explain how it will develop or challenge current knowledge of your subject. Identify the importance of your research. Show why you are the right person to do the research. So the purpose of the research proposal is to demonstrate whether the research will be coming with the fruitful outcome or it will serve the roadmap for the research. The process holds value both externally. So that means for accountability purpose and often as a requirement for a grant application. And also it will serve a purpose or holds a value and interesting value, we say, for helping the researcher to clarify mechanics, purpose, and potential significance of the study. So key section of research proposal includes the title, abstract, introduction, literature review, research design, methods, timeline, budget, and etc. So each will be briefly, I'll be explaining you further. So research proposal sample structure, where I mentioned this title, abstract, introduction, literature review, research design, timeline, budget, expected outcomes, and implications, references, and appendix if applicable. So we'll further deeply understand and dwell in the entire structure. So when I mention title, the name itself says that you have to present a concise and descriptive statement that clearly conveys the core idea of your research project. So make it as specific as possible. The reader should immediately be able to grasp the core idea of the intended research project. Often the title is left too vague and does not help give an understanding of what exactly the study look like. So title should give the understanding of what exactly the study look like and give the intended research of the entire project. Then comes the abstract. Abstract are usually around 250 to 300 words and provide an overview of what is to follow, including the research problem, research objectives, methods, expected outcomes, and significance of the study. So use this as a roadmap and ensure that if the abstract is the only thing someone reads, they'll get a good flyby of what we'll be discussing in the piece of the research further. Next is introduction. Introduction are all about contextualization. So they often set the background information with the statement of a problem. At the end of the introduction, the reader should understand what the rationale for the study truly is. I like to see research questions or hypotheses included in the introduction. And it is good understanding of what the significance of the research will be. So it's often easiest to write the introduction at the last. Next and very important part is literature review. So literature review dives deep into the existing literature on the topic, demonstrating your thorough understanding of the existing literature, including theme, strength, weakness, and gaps in the literature. So it serves both to demonstrate your knowledge of the field and to demonstrate how the proposed study will fit alongside the literature on the topic. A good literature review concludes by clearly demonstrating how your research will contribute something new and innovative to the conversation in the literature. Next is research design and methods. So this section needs to clearly demonstrate how the data that you have collected or gathered will be analyzed in a systematic and academically manner. Here, you need to demonstrate that the conclusion of your research will be both valid and reliable. So common points discussed in the research design and method section, including highlighting the research paradigm, methodologies, intended population or sample to be studied. So data collection techniques, data analysis procedures should be a part of your research design methods. So towards the end of the section, you are then encouraged to also address ethical consideration and limitation of the research process, but also explain why you choose your research design and how you are mitigating the identified risk and limitations that are involved during the research process. Timeline. Provide an outline of the anticipated timeline for the study. Break it down into various stages, that is, including data collection, data analysis, and report writing. The goal of this section is firstly to establish a reasonable breakdown of the steps for you to follow, and secondly, demonstrate to the assessor that your project is practical and feasible. Next is budget. So estimate the cost associated with the research project and include evidence for your estimation. Typical costs include staffing costs, equipment travel, and data collection tool. When applying for a scholarship, the budget should demonstrate that you are being responsible for your expensive and that your funding application is reasonable. Expected outcome and implications. A discussion of the anticipated findings or result of the research, as well as the potential contribution to the existing knowledge. Theory or practice in the field. This section should also address the potential impact of the research and the relevant stakeholders, and broadly implication of the policies and the practice that will be considered. References. Then I think everyone must be aware of the references, as it is very generic term that we use in our daily life. So same meaning here also. When you do a research, a complete list of the sources cited in the research proposal, formatted according to the required citation style. This demonstrates the researcher's familiarity with the relevant literature and ensures the proper attribution of the ideas and information has been addressed. Last is appendix, if applicable, I have mentioned. So any additional material such as questionnaire, interview guides, or consent forms that provides further information or support to the researcher proposal, these material should be included as appendix at the end of your document. So this way you will be later able to propose your research to the researcher, and hence the entire reader will get entire idea about what the research should be and how the outcome should look like.